sometimes we'll make an error, we'll make a blunder, and you gotta own it when you do something in the relationship and you made a boo-boo. You did something wrong, you created a mess, and you got to take responsibility for what you did, owning up to it, speaking to it, owning all of it.
Okay. So now we'll go back to number 1 and go into that in more depth. So rule number 1 is don't say yes when you mean no and blame the other person. And what this means is you have to be responsible for what comes out of your mouth. You have to be responsible. You have to know what you want. And if you make a mistake and you accidentally say yes and it turns out to be a no, that's okay. But it's your responsibility. Our agreement is that we'll come back and say, I said I would do that, but now that I've sat with it for a while, that's not going to work for me. And so I need to renegotiate that. That's fine. This is not about being perfect, but it is about making sure that, because if somebody consistently says yes when they mean no, and then they blame the other person, that's passive aggressiveness. It builds resentment. I mean, if you're feeling any resentment in a relationship, then you said yes when you meant no. And that's okay. It's just information. If you feel your resentment, then you can say, oh, I guess that really was a no. I wanted it to be a yes. I wanted you to like me. You know, I wanted to feel good about it, but I realize now it's not.
And I think for me, I'm just listening to Vicki say that, I don't want to say yes in order to have something over Vicki. So the next time I want my way, and taking turns will come up later. So the next time I want something, I get to throw in her face, I did what you wanted to. How come you didn't want to do what I wanted to do? Because we met a yes is a yes, a no is a no. And that really helps avoid that little sticky pitfall.
And that has happened. And let's see. And it's okay if that happens too. Let's say one of us did come and say, well, I said yes, and so then hopefully, or one would hope, I would say, if Marie said that, I would say, oh, so you said yes when you meant no on that last thing. And then we would stay there until that fart was owned.
Yes. And we do. Sometimes it is very stinky. Must open a window. But yes, we have to take care of that.
Because it's just so critical. If you can't trust somebody's word, then everything else falls apart. And I'm thinking this is a really good example. I have wanted to do something with Marie. I wanted to do something like this with Marie for a long time, because I think I'm magic, and I think Marie's magic, and I think together there's a synergy that's just wonderful. So I said, okay, Marie, but why don't we do a video blog, and we'll make a little video, and we'll talk about our first rule. Don't say yes when you mean no, and then blame the other person. And he said, okay. So we made this video, and it wasn't a whole lot of fun to do. And actually, you were kind of dead in the video. You weren't very animated. And then when it was all over, it became clear to me that I hope you're getting this. He said yes when he meant no about the video where we're talking about don't say yes. You mean no and blame the other person.
Damn.
Don't you love it? And it wasn't easy, because whenever shame enters the equation, so when I started saying, that I think you said yes when you meant no, he didn't immediately own that one, right?
Yes. Wait. True! The card says yes. No. Yes. And sometimes I'm a little slow when shame enters the equation to own a fart. In fact, sometimes I really don't if I'm going to avoid shame. But it usually helps to unpack it and get rid of it.
But see, that's part of the territory. So you say yes, and then it turns out it wasn't a yes, and it was really a no, but you did it because you wanted to be a good guy. You didn't want to disappoint me. Murray loves me. He He wants to be the kind of person who says yes, especially when something is
I
important.
love her.
So there's a big push to say yes. So he said yes, but it was a no, and then he acted out the no, and it wasn't fun, and it wasn't any good. And so then to come back to that and say that was a no. If shame comes in, shame isn't the problem. Shame about the shame is the problem. If when we were working that out,